welcome back. Here in studio with me now is Wayne Byers. He's the NDP candidate for the Lloydminster riding in the upcoming Saskatchewan election. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Well, thank you very much for taking time out to allow me to be part of your program.
No problem. Now, this is your second campaign, actually. You ran in this riding in 2003. How is your second go about it going?
Well, there's a lot to say about experience.
Yeah.
And certainly having your name known makes a big difference. And again, I'm looking forward to meeting as many people as I can. And where you find the most enjoyable part is knocking on doors and meeting people one-on-one and talking about their concerns.
Definitely. When you're meeting those people, what are you telling them that the issues that you hope to address are in this community?
Well, the biggest issue I've come across, and for the most part, is healthcare in Lloydminster. Healthcare is the number one issue on the doorstep, whether it's finding a family doctor or when you're going to the emergency department, long wait times, and those are certainly issues on the people's mind in Lloydminster.
Definitely, and I know that when you had your nomination there, you also were talking about power and sort of electricity bills. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, right now in the city of Lloydminster, we have two different power companies serving the residents of Saskatchewan, the Saskatchewan side of Lloydminster. Approximately 2/3 are served by an ATCO electric company and direct energy regulated services. And the other third of the province, or the third of the city, mainly the southern part of the city, is served by Sask Power. And there's a huge discrepancy in rates between what the two companies charge. And I feel that everyone who lives in Saskatchewan should pay the same for their power. We pay the same for our insurance, we pay for the same for our telephones. So this two-tiered system for power is certainly unfair for 2/3 of the people that live on the Saskatchewan side of Lloydminster.
Are you not, when you knock on that side of the doors, are you pointing that out to them?
Oh, I sure am. But when I talk to people on the southern part of the city who are served by Sask Power, I remind them how well they are served by having a corporation like Sask Power to meet their energy or electrical requirements at a reasonable cost.
Now, let's scale out a little bit and talk about the NDP provincial platform. They have an affordable housing action platform. Now, affordable housing is something that has come up in the news here very recently with the homeless situation and people not having availability to affordable housing. Do you think that this platform is something that could help Lloydminster? Well,
certainly I've never seen in Lloydminster before we've taken a survey on the homeless. It's something that has never happened before. And there certainly is a need. And in saying that, everyone deserves to have basic shelter. And the other issue we're finding today that so many people are spending, over 60% of their income just on housing costs, and that's a lot of money, and it doesn't leave a lot for extras. And working families deserve to have a fair rent and a fair cost of having a house to live in.
Let's talk a little bit about the economic plans that the NDP Saskatchewan Party has. Talk to me a little bit about potash royalty reviews. Now, they don't think that we're getting enough money back on our potash. Is this something you agree with?
Well, it's certainly the province right now, and people of Saskatchewan are receiving about 5% of the royalties from potash. Okay, and that structure was set up when potash was about $200 a ton. Today it's in that $500 range, and it had spiked to the $1,000 range at one time, but it seems to be in that $500 range. And historically, throughout the 90s and even the early part of 2000s, potash was at $100 a ton. So certainly with potash prices almost triple from their norm, I think it's time to have a review, and people of Saskatchewan deserve more than 5 cents on their royalties from that corporation.
Talk to me about mandating 50% of the electricity grid by 2025 to come from clean and renewable energy. I know the Green Party is saying something very similar to this. What makes your guys' different?
Well, we have a commitment to do it by 2025, and in our first term of office, we want to have 400 megawatts of power, green power, on our grid, and that's very achievable. also in Saskatchewan, though, the problem we have, it's nice to use the wind and solar and biomass and small hydroelectric projects, but with our climate the way it is, we still have to rely, because of our temperature, we just can't get away from it. So when we have a green power, you have to still back that up with natural gas power to offset that.
Now, you said the first time we spoke that the healthcare concerns were really what drove you to run in this election, and that it was just something that you felt like we were almost living in, I think you said, a third world country, the way that our healthcare is run.
Well, it's certainly that's how I feel that when we see local organizations putting on functions, and when those proceeds go to recruiting and retaining doctors in Lloydminster, Saskatchewan, I think those funds should be going elsewhere. There's a place for government to be recruiting and retaining doctors, and this government has failed to do that. We've had a 63% churn rate of doctors in rural Saskatchewan, and we can no longer continue to do that.
There are two other candidates participating in this show as well. Tim McMillan is the incumbent, he's a Sask Party, and Megan Huffam is the Green Party candidate, the first Green Party candidate to run in this riding, actually. What do you think makes you the better choice as opposed to those two candidates?
Well, I feel I have experience. I've lived in this constituency for a long time. I've worked throughout the constituency. I was very fortunate to, with my career, that I was able to work from Lloydminster to Pierceland or Onion Lake, Paradise Hill, Marshall, and but again, our platform is about putting people first, and we have to. There's a time and place where people deserve to be part of this boom.
Now, the NDP ran Saskatchewan for 16 years, and now it's kind of fallen back a little bit. Do you think that Saskatchewan is ready for an NDP government again? Well,
we are, because our platform, again, about putting people first. We're about balancing budgets, and we have a strong plan that will benefit people in the future of Saskatchewan. We have some short-term goals we have to address, but certainly a long-term plan in place as well.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today, Wayne. It's been a pleasure to have you.
Well, thank you.
This has been our conversation with Wayne Byers. He's the NDP candidate for the Lloydminster riding in the upcoming Saskatchewan election.